This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 120. Farewell, inside number 9.
Superman.
Hello and welcome to the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 120, where we take a little bit of a look back on, well, I say a little bit because it's been going for 10 years now, on the TV series, BBC TV series that is and was Inside Number 9. I say is and was because they're doing a new theatre production, aren't they, based on Inside Number 9. So,
yep. But
so it's still around there.
As far as we believe, though, the TV series has now ended. As far as we believe. But we don't always trust them. They're sneaky.
Yeah. As ever, I'm your host. Actually, not as ever. Tonight.
Well, you can do them all if you want.
Today, I'm your host, Paul Hawkins.
Yeah, I know.
And as ever, that's where it comes in, I am joined by
Brett Summers.
And
Damien Hicks.
So,
I'm really short.
All right, Damien.
We've known that for years. You look even shorter now. For those, are people watching? I just thought.
Yeah, it's recorded. See that there? That's a camera.
I wasn't sure if anyone did it.
What did you think I was doing when you arrived?
I wasn't even really.
No,
paying
you weren't. You
attention
weren't paying
to
any
it.
attention.
as slick as always. So before we come on to
can I just say
Inside Number 9, that whole point about talking over people, Brett, no one can hear us.
I'm just saying, I didn't know what the dog was doing when it was under the table between my legs. Just said.
Looks like it's had an accident from it.
Yep. Carry on. Sorry, Paul.
So before we get on to Inside Number 9, and specifically we're looking at the last couple of episodes, but we're going to delve back into a couple of our favourite episodes as well. Obviously, there's quite a few of them, so we're not going to go in depth into all of the...
Hell no. No, Brett, we're not.
However, any points of interest, TV, film-wise, that we want to discuss, I take it no one really wants to talk about outside work, life.
Oh, we're not doing the checking in how we're getting on stuff
Well, that's
anymore.
what I wondered. You never liked that bit. So.
I met Peppa Pig today. That's a big deal.
I think, just because I don't like it, it doesn't mean it's not part of the show.
Okay, fine.
Just saying,
So, what have you been up to, Brett? Apart from meeting Peppa Pig. We've all done that.
Did you have a picture taken with her?
I have had my picture taken with Peppa Pig. Thank you very much.
Thank you for making me feel not as special. I didn't know she was a whore. Just took a picture of anyone. Now, on Sunday, I got to train with the UFC legend and Hall of Famer Royce Gracie, who won the first ever UFC and as a pioneer. So that was a nice tick off the list of the things I never thought I'd be able to do. And I was still just about walking by the end of it, so it was good.
You didn't do that thing where everyone goes up to Mike Tyson and just says, "Oh God, I've always wanted you to punch me," and he punches them, and they instantly regret it.
No, I'm just not that stupid. But no, I was just obviously carrying my long-term injury. It was like, should I go? And it was like, well, how often do you get a chance to train with someone like that? And as he said in his question, he only comes to England rarely because we have about 1 week of summer, and he's from Brazil and lives in California, and it's just too cold. That's why he never comes to England.
Well,
but that was the thing. Everyone just went, "Yeah, fair enough." And I think he was waiting for us to go, "No, it's not."
Yeah.
And being English, everyone went, "Yeah, fair point."
They got a point.
Yeah.
but we don't get earthquakes here, like they do in California.
Yeah, we don't get hurricanes, tornadoes.
I got a feeling he lives in Hawaii now, but who knows? I think he just
They have hurricanes, don't they?
I think he's one that. I think
and,
he's got
and volcanoes.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those dudes who's just got places everywhere, and he just follows his surfboard around.
I thought you were going to say follows the sun,
So did I.
No.
follows the waves.
Yeah, he does. Follows the waves.
Bodhisattva. Cool. Anything else apart from those? I mean, to be fair, that's...
we've had prom at school. My Year 11 tutor group have now left and
Oh,
gone
that
out into the
annoys
big
me.
wide world. Born free. But
When did proms become a thing here?
I know.
About 6 years ago, I think. maybe longer.
Nah.
What was it? A
Yeah, it's
themed-
longer than that.
Was it
Nah.
a themed prom? Under the sea, maybe? Or
No, no.
Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
No.
Be there or be square.
No, but they did play a song that everyone shouted really loudly and sang along to that I'd never heard before, and it's called Birthday Sex. Have a listen. If you are a parent, that's what your kids are listening to.
Oh, wow.
I
Joy.
blushed. I blushed. But when everyone, there like 200 kids all singing along to it at the top of their lungs, it was like...
Why was the DJ playing it, though?
Because they obviously requested it, and...
The DJ didn't know any different.
The DJ is street cool, isn't he? They probably said, don't play that. And he was like, yeah, I'm cool, kids.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Okay. And did he play any songs backwards to see if they could bring the devil down?
No, I did.
Any pig's blood falling from the ceiling?
Bizarrely, Cher, Do You Believe in Life After Love still fills a dance floor at a prom.
God.
And they all sang along to that too. So I
hate
don't
that
know.
song.
I don't know why that's
Like really-
if that's in a film or
that
something
20
at the moment or
Really
a
sums
TV
up the
show.
youth of today, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Because it was just like there was all this weird stuff. Then like the odd like little sprinkling of something
The
like
old
that.
90s banger turns up.
And then on came Agadoo. They loved it.
There was
Oh,
no oops upside.
Emily
your
loves
head.
that.
There was no oops
You might hear
upside
that on
your head,
Saturday.
Macho Man or anything else
Yep.
by Black Lace.
A lot of Black Lace gets played on Emily's playlist.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, fair play to her.
Damien,
Yes,
what have you been up to?
not a lot. Working and spending most evenings in here watching football and drinking beer.
That sounds not a bad life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've got a bar. I'm going to use it.
Just you? Anyone else?
With football, yeah.
Cool.
It's nice. Oh, I don't like the word man cave. This isn't a man cave, but it's a man cave.
Cool.
So-
Can we have fires if it's a
Diddle,
cave?
diddle, diddle.
There's a lot of wood.
Not treated the wood.
No, I haven't.
Is there a lot of wood in your man cave?
There's a huge amount of wood in my man cave.
And obviously we've got a special day coming up on Saturday. So much prep for that? Or have you just left that to the better half?
No, there's a little bit here and there going on, but I don't want to ruin the surprise.
I did see a video last night.
Dino Dave,
Yeah.
with his dinosaurs playing football.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just a taster of things to come.
Cool, like that. So that's your week.
Yeah.
What have I done? I think it's been a relatively quiet week. Work, obviously. Booked my holidays.
Where you going?
Oh, well, we need to know what that is for the recording of this, so if you let us know.
The
Not now.
last 2 weeks of August.
Cool. So if you're listening, that's when his house is empty.
Oh, no, it won't be empty. Yeah, so it's one of those things, I hate spending money. So
Yeah, we know.
even though it's for like the greater good of the family,
I don't want to be a
there's
miser.
just that moment of like as soon as you forked out, thinking, "Oh God, I've just spent a few grand on a holiday that's only a few,
Where are you going?
9 days, somewhere in Spain. I don't know, and Lucia or something." It's just-
I read somewhere the other day. I think it was obviously on Facebook or Twitter, one or the other. Parents don't go on holiday; they just look after their kids in somewhere else.
Well, it's always one of those things because you run the risk that wherever you go, there's going to be a fire, a hurricane, or it's going to be like 60 degrees and everyone's going to be boiling. So
Go somewhere cold.
Jesus Christ!
Well, I know,
you've
yeah.
been in a foul mood since you turned up here.
well,
It just keeps be getting worse.
Because Antarctica was fully booked.
still recovering from spending money.
Jesus.
But yeah, I think that's been about it. Not much going on outside work apart from watching stuff on TV, which brings me nicely into Brett. What have you been watching?
I have been watching. I believe.
Speak and spell.
No, I believe
Who you
I
want to
might
play
have
a
one
game.
left, or I've got to the end of Free Body Problem, or as it is at the moment.
God, you're really dragging that one out,
I was
aren't
going
you?
to say, what
It's
is
having
wrong
the time
with
to
you?
watch it at the moment. I'm a busy man. They've said that the second series is coming now, so I was quite happy to finish it.
Oh, they said that pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
But they've got a thing on Netflix now. Halfway through it, went a second series, but you almost get You get updates on the notes on Netflix now, or whatever it's on. And that's been really good. I do feel I'm enjoying it, but is it being dragged out a little bit? I don't know, but we'll find out.
It's not really
It's not-
dragged
that's
out
only
because there's
about
only
8
8 episodes. Jinx.
Yeah, but it's like,
You can't speak now till
No,
someone
but-
says your name.
but now it's like, but they're
Beetlejuice,
still not,
Beetlejuice,
they're not going to get here for another X amount of years yet, though. So it's like, whoa. So
Yeah,
we're
but
going to
that's
we're going to have to like, hopefully we'll jump a bit through time, rather than just sort
no,
of,
but them arriving isn't the point of the story. It's what we do about it. Is the point of the story.
But
So
we're going to be
It's not
doing
like
it
you're
for a
waiting
lot.
for a
My
reveal.
point is that like we're going to be doing it a lot.
no, because they're only making 3 seasons, aren't they? I think. I'm sure I read that
unless
somewhere.
you never. Yeah, it was going to be a trilogy or something, but unless it, because apparently it's doing really well or something, so they might.
Well, that doesn't
try
make any
and-
difference to Netflix, does it? If it's
Yeah.
because it's doing really well, they still pull the rug from under your feet, whether you like it or not.
Good point. But that's good. I've also been.
Oh, just jump.
Oh, he's going straight
on.
on to something
Hello.
else.
Well, you asked me
This
what
is the
I've
Brett
been
Summers
watching.
Yeah, but what we
podcast.
normally do is then go around. Oh, Damien, what have you been watching? And Damien can't remember, or he's been watching shit, or as we found out last time, he'd been watching something that he actually liked that we didn't think he would.
Yeah,
What was that?
Bluey.
Bluey, yeah, I love Bluey.
Oh no, Doom Patrol, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I haven't watched it now for probably about 2 months, but
Okay.
I
Right.
just wanted to
What
say
have
that-
you been watching then?
Nothing.
Well,
I've been watching football and sitting out here drinking beer. I told you.
Cool. Okay, so,
So I don't need to partake in this conversation.
What about you, Paul?
well, I have been watching random stuff because I'm desperate for something new on telly. We had The Acolyte.
Yes,
Have you watched it?
I'm up to.
No,
I've
I mean, have you watched the latest episode?
I've seen Who's in the Helmet.
So you've
I-
watched the episode?
Yeah, I don't know
You're
when.
so confrontational.
My whole point is I don't know when the new one drops. I just watch it at the weekend.
So it drops on Wednesdays.
Okay, so
So
yeah, I'm up
if,
to
if
date.
you watch the
then.
last episode,
Yeah, I'm
where-
up to date because
Yeah.
last Wednesday we had a bomb scare and I got sent home from school.
Cool.
So I watched.
Did
it
you
then.
do that on purpose so
No.
you could go and watch the Acolyte?
Apparently, it was according to the local news. I'd like to add, it was a. Well, actually, no, I don't.
Was
know
it
if
Just
I
Stop
can.
Oil?
No, don't talk
I
about
don't
it
know
because
if
there
I
was a number of
can-
different schools that had a bomb scare.
Yeah, but basically the same person done
Yeah.
about 4 or 5, but we were
Oh,
the
right.
first one. So we were the one that actually had to, because at
Yeah,
that
yeah,
point, it was
by
it
that-
then,
yeah.
as the day went on, it was realising what was going on. So
I just wanted to make sure that you'd seen it because I didn't want to talk about
I've
it.
seen Who's in the Helmet.
But you've seen the whole
So
episode.
is that in the episode? For Christ's sake! I mean, I'm starting to get with Paul now. Have
Well,
you seen the
that's
episode or
what
not?
That's what you're getting at, isn't it?
No, I just wanted to make sure that you've seen the whole episode, so I'm not ruining anything else for
right.
you.
No, yeah, I
hang
don't
on.
believe so.
Do we need this then?
No, because it was last week.
All right, well, I pressed it now.
Spoiler
If you
bell.
haven't seen the latest episode of The Acolyte, or the second to latest episode by the time this goes out, because it all goes out tomorrow night, but this goes out on Friday, then
Spoiler bell.
spoiler bell.
So actually, I didn't mind this episode in the fact that what we realise is Jedi in the old times weren't actually that good because this bad guy manages to basically...
But he-
When you say
so-
they weren't that good, they weren't good as in pure and good, or they weren't good at what they did.
Oh, actually, a bit of both.
Okay.
So they're
Well,
different.
the bureaucracy is still there that we talked about.
But haven't they
before.
always been? They've always been morally good, but with a little bit of they got to do what they got to do to get things done. There's a lot of wet work that happens, isn't there?
That's more the Rebel Alliance, I think you're thinking of.
Oh, okay. See, this shows
Cassian
how
Andor
much I
and all
care.
that.
No, but basically...
It's the ego and bureaucracy of the Jedi that you're kind of getting the taster of.
Okay.
The last episode was basically like Anakin Skywalker slaughtering younglings. But these are grown up, proper, supposedly Jedi masters that were just being slaughtered.
I think there was a couple of Padawans in there just for sort
Well,
of.
random. Well, there was one bit where he had his lightsaber out, used the Force, and basically skewered 2 Jedis.
Yeah,
Just took them all out. He got...
that's
oh,
the one bit with Star Wars. The further back in time you go, the cooler the lightsabers fights are.
yeah. And he also had a trick where he could headbutt the Jedi's lightsabers to basically disable them.
Okay.
Who knew? The youngling was basically whooping his ass a bit, but he killed her. That surprised me. And then...
She basically did a hot rod, didn't she? Look out,
Yeah.
Prime, he's got a gun.
Yeah.
And then got, yeah.
But there's basically one of the Jedis left from the group that went out. and we've got a bit of a twist where the twins have swapped places, like in
Yeah.
that film from the late 90s,
Like
late 80s.
every film from the late
No,
80s.
like where the twin
Yeah.
sisters swap places and Dennis
Yeah.
Quaid's the dad, and then
and they're
Lindsay
all
Lohan.
Lindsay
That's
Lohan.
right.
Yeah.
Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah. What did I?
Yeah.
Is that what I said?
Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan.
She beat Kurt Russell
that's-
up in Big Trouble on Little High Fidelity or something, didn't they? Yeah,
That's
but
what you happen when you order the film from Wish.
I have a theory on this.
Go for it. There's been theories out there in the interweb.
Well, I'm just carrying on with the theme and the fact that now
Now
that
dog growling.
Yeah.
He's growling
He
at Paul,
doesn't.
though.
He doesn't like Brett's theory.
No, he's growling at Paul. He's like, "Where's this money?"
We
you're
might
splashing out?"
introduce the listeners and the viewers to Indy later on.
Yeah.
We might not have a choice about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you might see her on camera. She was sniffing my crotch.
Him.
Him even. It's because I've got girl cats. But anyway, I wonder if
That sounds like a late 90s indie band. Go Cats.
Yeah.
dude from
Supported Echo Belly.
what's it called? Korean
Empanina.
show, Squid Game,
Yeah.
and dude from The Good Place are brothers
Ted Danson.
or twins.
Danson? Ted Danson.
What? They look nothing like each other.
Doesn't matter. He's familiar, but he doesn't know why. And everyone else is a twin, and they're the only two.
You can have twins that aren't identical.
They're the only
These are
two.
completely different and they look different ages.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's the Force or
I'll
something.
stay out of this. I said I was going to stay
He
out of this
might be
conversation.
using
I
the
will stay out of
Force
this
to
conversation.
stay younger or something, because that's what the Sith do. He said Sith, though.
Yeah.
That was a big deal, because they were like, they haven't said it Sith yet. It might be something else. He's like, Sith. I've said Sith. Listen, I've said it. You know, it was like... But I was really up for his badassery, and then he spoke, and that was when I realised it was the guy from The Good Place, and
Yeah.
it kind of took any badassery...
Well, he's buffed up a bit for the role.
Oh, yeah, yes, but it took a bit... It was like I saw Bill and Ted before I saw The Lost Boys. So when Alex Winter starts jumping up and down going, yeah, you be one of us, I'm like, it wasn't like... I don't think it would have been scary anyway, to be fair, but it was, it kind of took the sting out of it a bit, but he is cool, and... apparently he does a lot with his own shiz, so that's always good in my book. And but yeah, in Star Wars, lightsaber battles are much better hundreds of years before.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good battle.
Yeah, it was.
The whole twins.
Probably one of my favourite ones, actually.
The whole twin swapping places, though, that it's like, why? You can think of
Because
something
we've
else
got
to
another
do.
3 episodes.
Yeah, I know, but seriously. And we know that the little robot dude has worked. No, not the little whatever he is,
Yeah,
chipmunk,
he's cottoned on already.
whatever mongoose type creature he is.
I mean,
has worked
it's
her out.
Star Wars 101.
Yeah.
Jeff the Talking Mongoose, isn't it?
Oh no.
Oh.
It's Star Wars Lassie, isn't it? No one ever listens to the droid or the robot, but they're always right. when,
Yeah,
you
but this
know.
little hairy thing
What's that, R2? Timmy's done a
smells
well.
that she's the wrong twin.
But I'm enjoying it though. I think it's good. I think it's different.
I think that was the best one.
and it's nice. I think that's the first time we've actually seen someone properly killing someone with a lightsaber in any of the Star Wars
Loads
films.
of them.
Yeah,
Like, no mercy.
and proper cool ways, not
Yeah.
just like they disappear into like a freeze frame of. and
Yeah,
their
I must
and their
admit,
cloak falls down.
But when you look back at, because I did watch. Oh, I shouldn't say that, but yeah, when you do go back and watch the old films, Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, not much of a lightsaber duel, is it? Let's be honest. Even Luke and Darth Vader, he does a lot of jumping around just to avoid him, and then it's basically the Force throwing stuff
Yeah.
at him.
and a bit of electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind this one. But have we kind of peaked now, and it's just going to be building up for the next series?
Well, I think there's something behind this one. Well, always two Sith, aren't they? Type thing. And she's not an apprentice; she's an acolyte. So that might mean there's another one somewhere else.
Well, he looks like he might have his new apprentice
Well, we'll see.
if he can turn the
other
original
one, yeah.
twin. Osha?
Oh, sure, and
I can't remember which
But
one's
I
which.
reckon there might be someone behind him that we haven't seen yet. Some sort of phantom menace or that's hidden.
Yeah. But God help the Jedi if he can knock out a whole battalion of them.
Yeah, it's weird that they were so bureaucratic about when it's like this guy's kicking her ass. Just use a gun.
Oh, no, one of them tried that, but it was that stupid stun gun. It's like,
Yeah.
seriously? Anyway, enough of the acolyte because Damon's going to sleep. Back to you, Brett.
I have caught up with The Boys, and I can see why a lot of America's not liking it. I think it's brilliant. I think it's clearly explained how they've almost got to the point now because, like, our good friend Homelander isn't really trying to hide much anymore, apart from his oncoming mental breakdown, which is slowly building. They're almost actually saying, right, you need to go and say that now. You need to go and do that because they've got that new superhero woman with the brain on it. I forgot what her name is now, but she's of an ethnic background, and like they're using that as our sister. I forgot what she's called, but she's like the most intelligent woman on the planet anyway. So she's manipulating everything for Homelander and probably herself, and but they're basically showing how to manipulate a crowd, start a riot up, chuck in a few dead bodies at the end, blame the other people for doing it, and all that, and all people go, "That's not what happens." And it's
Is it not getting a bit like South Park, though?
It's getting a bit like... No, it's actually getting a bit like what's going on at the moment.
The current presidential election.
Yeah. And I can see it's very, very... No, it's probably... If you took out the superhero thing, I would say it's a very, very brave and bold political commentary on the state of the world. In one country in particular, you can work that one out. But, so I don't get shot. But, yeah, it's very good, but the actual story...
powerful guns if they can shoot you from here. There.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
But yeah, the
MAGAs.
superhero plot thing is done really well. There's a nice twist with Huey's dad, played by Simon Pegg. There's a few more new superheroes who've joined the 7, where I'm up to, including Firecracker, who's the redhead... you haven't reached her power's not very good. She just like does like little explosion things. But she is the Boys Universe version of that Alex Jones, not the one show host. No, you know the big guy that used to have his shows and like the truth.
Yeah, the one who's been sued to high heaven.
Yeah. She's basically like that sort of cat, and that's why they've brought her in because she's going to rile them up, and Homelander's going to ride that wave of riling kind of thing. And they're telling you all, and it's like, can you people watch this and see how you've all been manipulated now? But they're going, that's not what happens. Like they're calling it, they're calling out. It's linked in as well now with the Gem V TV series. It's crossed back over with that now, with what happened in there being very relevant to what's happening in the episode, and some of the characters have now come across and everything. So that's all linked in nicely. And I'm really enjoying it. It's going to be a horrific ending to this season. I think there's one more after this.
That's when I'll start. When it finishes, well, actually, if there's only one left, I might start watching it soon.
And then
I won't catch up straight away.
But it's not, in all fairness, it's not looking good for anyone at the moment. Everyone is screwed in their own way. And
that's life.
But but again, that is life. It's not, nothing's all washed up and cleaned in 20 minutes and reset for the next episode.
Even if they're
The Boys.
superheroes.
And there are some bits as well, and some really cool deaths that you're going to love.
Cool.
But just remember, don't show it to kids.
Okay. I won't go back to Damien, as he hasn't watched anything apart from football and drink beer.
I haven't watched anything, but I have listened to it. Well, let's see, podcast, except this is BBC Sounds. So in the old days, BBC Sounds would just, the dramas they put on Radio 4 and stuff, they would just package them up and they'd be on the radio iPlayer, whatever that was called. I forget what it's called now. But now everything's a podcast, even though it was a drama when it was shown on the radio, played on the radio. Anyway, so it's a podcast, but
from their audio library.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I can't remember. It used to be called BBC Radio Player or something. But anyway, a relatively interesting drama called The Specialist, I think, about a doctor that gets sent to some remote village in Wales because there's something going on there. That's about all I can say because every episode does stuff. It's quite good. It's nothing groundbreaking. It doesn't set the world on fire.
Is it a nothing burger?
No, it's not a nothing burger. It's just the way it plays out. It was actually quite interesting. So, and it's like the episodes are half an hour per, so you can get all 6 done in a relatively short time. I can't be bothered to do the maths.
Cool.
So that's worth a listen if you're at the loose end.
Brilliant.
I listened to that whilst I was playing
And that's
snooker on the PlayStation.
BBC Sounds.
Yeah.
Did they? Okay. So are they putting lots of things?
They put
onto that?
pretty much most of their stuff, even like a lot of back catalogues. When I go on there to listen to the, they do a lot of M.R. James and all the old dramas from the 70s and 80s.
Cool.
'Cause
I get
there's an old
even
Vincent Price one. I forget what it is now.
a lot of their old their podcasts now are just on that now, aren't they? And not available on like other outlets and things.
Yeah, I don't think they do any of their own, either produced by BBC or produced by a production company on behalf of BBC. Don't go anywhere else.
Yeah, just.
But then I don't really listen because they're all just celebrity nonsense anyway. It's the dramas I go on there to find it. So like they've got an H.P. Lovecraft on there at the moment that I've not. I think I have read the book, but I might give that a listen at some point. Yeah, and every now and again, like the old Man in Black when it was. Oh, I've forgotten the guy's name. He played Death in the Terry Pratchett Hogfather when that was on Sky. But he was the Man in Black before Mark Gatiss took over and relaunched it, whatever.
Johnny Cash.
No, not that Man in Black. But they're good little ghost stories or twisty, like Tales of the Unexpected.
Look
but on
out
the radio.
below! Look out below! So that was the Signalman.
Yeah.
I like that one. I remember that one.
The Stone Tapes is a good one, but that's a TV series from the old Ghost Stories for Christmas. If you ever get a chance to watch that, if it ever pops up on BBC Four,
they brought out, or they did, but
there is a DVD collection of all the
they've
Ghost
just gone
Stories.
bust, haven't they? Network DVD have gone bust.
I don't know, but yeah, there was a collection of all the Ghost Stories
They were really
for
good at
Christmas.
doing all the old TV shows and stuff like that, and they've gone under now, unfortunately. But can't see why, making stuff that only we remembered.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, if you got any of their stuff, you know, that might be limited.
Well, I did
edition.
have a bootleg sort of DVD of all the Ghost Stories for Christmas, but I don't know what happened to it. Shame. Because now you can't download them or watch them anywhere. Maybe the BFI player, but I'm not going to subscribe to that.
Might be on YouTube, never know.
Yeah.
But that's cool though.
Cool. So, as I said, I was desperate things to watch. Doesn't seem to be anything new coming out recently, so I went to the great back catalogue.
You haven't gone back to Silent Witness, have you?
No, God, no. No, but I watched The Dark Tower. I thought I'd give that another go. And actually, it's not a bad film.
Is that the Idris Elba?
Idris Elba,
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey one.
The gunslinger and all that.
Yeah, where again they can shine and all that kind of stuff. Shine.
Shine like a star.
Oh, I was going to take that, but
I know
that's
you
fine.
were, but I've got street cred.
But I actually didn't mind it this time round.
a bit of a different shine somewhere.
And yeah, Idris Elba just doing what he does and being cool on screen, and Matthew McConaughey again, just being Matthew McConaughey.
How bad was it though compared to, because like it sort of bombed, didn't it, and everyone took it to task for not being like I forgot what they're called. It was a trilogy, or wasn't it a load of books?
Yeah, Stephen King books.
Yeah,
Dark Tower.
Was that what it was?
No, not Dark Tower. The Black. Oh Jesus! I just got the old BBC Two thing stuck in my head. Or Black Tower, the wine.
Dark Towers.
Yeah, but there's basically a trilogy of Stephen King books. But the problem is, over the last few years, the films haven't been great, but the books haven't been that great either. So, if I'm honest, I think it's too short. It's only about an hour and a half, and they could have, given it another half hour to make it into something incredible. I think, that everyone would have maybe got into a bit more.
But does it drift far off?
I haven't read the books.
Okay. I thought you read the books. So.
No. It sounds horrible, but I've given up on Stephen King over the last few years. I liked his early stuff and read it when I was a teenager.
I've never had the patience to read a Stephen King book. I've
No, but
tried
is that-
lots,
that's what I mean,
and
is
I've said
early
it
stuff.
before.
The
But he'll
ones-
spend a chapter describing a doorknob, and I just can't take that shit.
My issue with Stephen King has always been since I read a few of it. I can't remember the order, but I always remember when I read it. Far too young, but I could read that well. So yeah, he's never had an ending.
See,
He's not. There's not been that. It kind of gets to that point, and then it's like for me, it was all like the scary clown, and he was the form of fear. I get all that, and then it was like, and then he turned into a spider, and they smashed him up with stones. The end, and it's like,
the thing is,
what's your homework due in? Is there a deadline? You know,
what I find is,
spoilers, by the way.
no,
sorry.
no. It's I think
Spoilers for it.
I think it's
I'm not even bother getting the bell out for that.
I think it's a tendency of writing about a writer or Maine or whatever, and you get a bit bored of that. I love the Batman books because they were short, little stories, and they were great ideas. But yeah, I think he's ventured off into
Well, I think
weird
that,
and
but
wonderful
you know,
things.
without going down a whole rabbit hole about ghost stories and all that sort of stuff, I think that's most of the best sort of ghost and horror stories are short.
Yeah,
It's a the almost always humdrum, bit of jeopardy, scare at the end, and reveal. That's a ghost story, if you like, in a nutshell.
yeah. Like the
Or
last
horror
man
or
on
whatever.
earth was sat in the lounge, the doorbell went.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The kids were knocking at the door. We don't have kids. That's the exactly. Those kind there. So when Stephen King writes a book that's 450 pages long and a chapter,
that's a short book for him.
yeah, I know. But you know what I mean. And that's when they become
Yeah.
they become a letdown, because if it was shortened, the kids it turned into a spider and the kids bashing it to death isn't actually that bad an ending to a short story. But when it becomes elongated and all this mythology is built around it, it just feels flat.
Yeah.
And I think that is the problem with a lot of most horror nowadays. To be
That's
fair,
why I still rate, and then we go, oh, he's making writes for kids. R.L.
the
Stein
Goosebumps stuff. Yeah.
has never written a bad book.
No.
Because he's got a formula, he sticks to it, it changes to whatever the creature is or whatever, but it's that sort of story. You know, it works, people like it. You know, formulas work. You know, again, whatever series Power Rangers are on now, you know.
Scooby Doo.
In Japan,
Yeah.
they're on about season 50. In this country, in the Western world, they're on about 30 or... We've got to be about season 30. Yeah, Scooby Doo.
I love you managed to shoehorn Power Rangers into a conversation about Stephen
I thought he was going
King.
to say Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
Even no, much right. You
If-
did
if
have
the
you did
formula
have
ain't
different.
broken.
You did have slightly different. It basically took.
Do you know what? I found myself having a
a
conversation with myself, really, because this was a conversation with Emily, but it doesn't really work because she has no clue what I was talking about. But she asked me what this was, and I said, it's Jessica Fletcher, the best amateur sleuth ever. And then I went, with the exception of maybe Dr. Mark Sloan. And then that, in my head, built up a whole conversation of who's the best.
They
amateur
are
sleuth.
the two that you're going to
You,
get
you
to.
should see someone about that.
Yeah.
Neither,
Well, I should have seen all this time spent out here on my own drinking beer.
neither should be allowed near a crime scene, but just walk on because of who they know or their niece, nephew, brother.
Yeah.
Especially Mark Sloan by the end of it. That whole
Yeah.
family was involved. But
Anyway,
But again,
railroaded the
those
whole
shows
conversation,
had
but-
a kind of formula in their own way. Murder, She Wrote, in some ways, just tried to remake every film ever in some form or
Yeah.
other. But formulas work, and and there's a payoff at the end. And Stein's been doing that for ages. I still think that I forgot what it was called, the Fear Street trilogy. I still think that's underrated.
yeah, that was
I mean,
good. I enjoyed
it's
it.
not-
They're doing another.
Well, they said they were going to, but 'cause
Yeah.
it kind of ended on a thing. Maybe I don't know if he's not written it yet. A bit like our other friend in his Game of Thrones, but that stuff works, and people go, "Oh, it's not this or not that," but he's probably written more highly rated books than Stephen King actually has as a horror writer. It's just that the ones that Stephen King picks out always get made into massive movies, whereas he's had his couple of Goosebumps films and here and there, but in that Netflix series. But I think he deserves a bit more, R.L. Stein.
Well, but they're pitched at a different level, aren't they? So.
Yeah, but you can. I mean, Fear
I mean,
Street.
he could if he wanted to. He could pitch those at a different level. But
Fear Street was a bit darker.
No, yeah, obviously, but most of his stuff is pitched at young, teenage and young adult, isn't it? Well, no, not even young adult. To be fair, it's younger than that, isn't it?
Yeah, but talking dummies and all that.
Yeah,
he had Slappy before, maybe even before Chucky came out. I'll have to check that, but but they're up in dummies.
Yeah,
around for ages. That
Magic
one with Annie Hopkins. Yeah,
it is Magic, isn't it? Yeah,
I think so. But yeah.
Okay, playing my role as Sandy Tostig tonight. Let's bring it back to the present conversation. Not a bad conversation, but that seems like a
tangent and an episode all of its own.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So anything else noteworthy that you've been watching?
Nothing springs to mind at the moment.
Okay, cool. Just a couple of mentions from me where I've been desperate to watch Meg and Meg 2.
Hang on, you watched Shark in Paris.
Oh, yes, I just remembered that.
Sorry, go on, Paul.
No. So Meg and Meg 2, because I saw him posting that he was watching Shark in Paris. So I thought, well, I might actually watch a shark film that's deliberately meant to be a bit funny and a bit,
Yeah.
And just quickly, again, because it's not new or anything like that, I went back and watched A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place 2 because they're bringing out the new A Quiet
I've
Place.
not bothered with the second one.
It's a prequel, isn't it? This one, isn't it?
It's the first day, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you know what? They're not bad films. Quiet Place, they're all right. They are what they are. That's what it says. Go on then, Summers.
Yeah.
We've given our opinion on Shark in Paris or whatever it's called.
It's pretty bad, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
I thought the mayor was an amazing character. When you're worse than the mayor from Jaws, and even as it's happening, you're still a little bit like, can we get away with this? No, okay. And I really liked. I think she was like a police chief. She was an older blonde woman who looked like Tony Soprano's wife, and I think that's the only reason she was in it. Because I think they were trying to sort of play on that kind of, hey, look, she's a bit older, but she's chief of police and she's okay. But she really looked like, at first I thought, they just got Tony Soprano's wife. I can't remember the actress's name. But but yeah, that was cool. And it had some cool bits in it. I particularly liked the fact that everyone then stood up in the triathlon when they thought there was a shark land, and everyone just got a bit higher, and then that guy got picked up by it. And
it would have been nice if they'd have made the shark win an event somehow. Whether it was like 100-meter swim, and
the shark
and the shark won, or if they'd have done something.
I like the fact that in the catacombs when they because they're all gathered in the catacombs, aren't they? The kids, and they go through the tunnel when there's like, I don't know, about 10 kids dotted about, and then when the sharks attack, it's like there's hundreds of kids in there. They just keep going back to you see about 10 people get eaten. There's only 10 kids there in the first place.
Yeah, but that's the catacombs under Paris, mate.
Yeah.
That's where they all hang out.
But what I liked as well is I didn't know sharks could stack skulls so well.
Well, dolphins can do tricks.
That's what the catacombs is.
Yeah, but it was just all stacked up so neatly and tidily.
Yeah, but
that's what is under the Paris is catacombs of skulls and skeletons stacked up.
Yeah, but these are supposed to be all the ones that they'd added to it as well. They were like, it was not supposed to be.
No, I don't think it was. I think they were just showing you
They made something about, well, where's all the other stuff coming from? And then it's like,
did they?
And they look up and there's about 500 sharks were swimming around that they didn't notice before.
Yeah. That'd be the Phantom. He finds the skulls and the bones that the shark leaves and he just puts them on the catacombs.
Yeah.
Can you feel?
Because that's what I like. Because they clearly thought about things. And every so often had like a nice little line in.
They clearly thought, how did the shark get it? I just swam.
Yeah.
That bit. But then they'd have a bit tied it out. And there was another bit about the Eiffel Tower or something. And then there was a bit about the Statue of Liberty. And that was a gift from us. So they had these little historical nuggets in to try and educate as well as film and explain things. And then, like you say, it swam here. Or, hey, we're all stood around the edge and there's a big shark in the middle. And suddenly no one could balance.
Yeah.
It was like balance was gone and everyone fell in. And
that whole film felt like, the writers have been given a budget to do a script or a screenplay rather. Went off to Malaga or somewhere for 2 weeks. Last night, actually, you know what? We better get something down now.
It was the happy Monday.
We'll be fine. We've got a plane ride in the morning.
It was the Happy Mondays in Barbados. That's what it was. It was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. It doesn't belong anywhere near the Sharknado.
No.
Whatever you call it now, series of films. I've forgot how many there were.
Franchise.
That's a good word. But it tried. It tried to do something.
Are you sticking up for it?
No. I'm pointing out.
Sounded like you were.
Listen,
he's going to get the box set.
He tried to do something different.
No, but for all intents and purposes, it's a foreign language film trying to tap into an international market. And I think it did that mainly because it was shit. But more people talking about that than Three Colours Blue and Three Colours Red and Three Colours Thingy at the moment.
So basically, what you're saying is that France need to take a leaf out of South Korea's book and do good films.
America's.
Yeah, but you said non-English speaking country.
Well, it is really. I mean, it was poorly dubbed, which added to my enjoyment. But yeah, and I think the next thing needs to be where Netflix do something like that, and you can almost plug in your microphones.
I don't
and
think it's
a
Netflix. I think it's just they
Yeah,
think.
But you can do your own audios. It's the future. Movieoki or something.
You heard it here.
Copyright.
I can't speak. You heard it here first.
You did. But yeah, I mean, it was harmless enough, but it was too long. The joke went on too long. The film was a bit too long.
It wasn't a joke, though. That was the worst thing
that's
about
the problem.
Yeah, it wasn't for them.
Anyway, so anything else?
Can't think of anything at the moment.
No would have done. Nothing else from me. Nothing else from Damien.
Nope.
Segment done. And welcome. Sorry, that was my David Essex. Welcome back.
Sounded more like David Bellamy, to be fair.
I thought it was my ring.
The undergrowth.
Run around now.
Run around.
So, I was going to say welcome back. We've had a short break, a bio break, as the Americans would say, just to relieve ourselves.
Take on some fluids, as they say in football. Oh, that annoys me. You're having a drink. You're just having a fucking drink. You're not taking on fluids. You're not a fucking truck that has to be filled up with... Sorry.
Just give them some orange slices.
Yeah.
Just
taking on
hydrating.
fluids.
So, before our break of a few months, we do a spotlight on something, a film that we'd nominate and then talk about it and discuss it and let you watch along and share any views online as well. We thought it's quite apt that a long-running TV series was coming to a close over the last couple of weeks, Inside Number 9. It's been a stalwart of British TV over the last 10 years, so we thought we'd look back at some of the key episodes over the last 10 years. So for those...
retrospective, if you like.
Yeah. So for those of our viewers and listeners, by the way, don't forget to like and subscribe, wherever those things may be. So Inside Number 9...
Well, I've got to put them down there now, haven't I? You've both pointed down there, so that's where they're going to be.
Well, I thought they were down there.
They're on there already
YouTube.
on YouTube, yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't got to bother putting them on.
So Inside...
On the video.
Oh, God.
No.
Have you not watched us on YouTube?
No, I watch it for like 8 hours straight whilst I'm editing it. I don't want to watch it again once it's up.
As long as you're signed in, you can like and subscribe.
I thought that was just under the video. Didn't realise it popped up on the video.
Oh, no. So it's under the video,
we're pointing under the window.
Oh, right. Even I put it where you point on the screen. You don't watch it, do you?
Well, there's no point in them clicking on something that you're just putting in.
No, but it just looks a bit more better. Well, yes, you can. I don't bother, but you can.
Tag it.
Yeah, well, you can do something to press it in the screen.
Do you do that?
No.
Right. So you got all these numpties. Not that our listeners or viewers.
Hey, careful.
Yeah, don't click on his
the
like and
views of Paul
subscribe
Hawkins
buttons.
are not necessarily the views of Cult Faction Studios.
Click on the proper like and subscribe button. That's why we've got no subscribers or hardly any.
We had
a new one today.
Yeah, there we go.
Was that Pepper? Okay, so inside number 9 is a kind of a black comedy
Anthology sort of show.
yeah, akin to the likes of
Well, it's a bit of
I
everything,
think
isn't it?
it's
Tales from the Unexpected,
yeah,
with a
it's
bit
a
of a
dark
more comedy
drama. So they're
Yeah.
not necessarily all comedy,
No, not all
but
drama.
they're not also drama. But they're not also they're not always necessarily horror, which annoys me because most headlines, or if you read something about them inside number 9, that's the thing they kind of anchor onto in any of their synopsis or their writings. It's like horror anthology or
Yeah.
It's not. I mean,
It's definitely psychological. Isn't
yeah.
it? It's just what you choose your horror to
and
be.
it's kind of renowned for always having kind of a twist.
Yeah, it's not always quite what you've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's written by Steve Pemberton and Reece
Shearsmith.
Shearsmith. Produced by the BBC. They must have made quite a lot of money off of the box sets before they gave it to the iPlayer. And not only do they write in it, they star and, well, I hate using the word star because they don't star. They don't make it all about them.
No.
But they appear in each of the episodes, and they've got a plethora of different stars from film and TV that make appearances. And a lot of the time, they give it to those cameo role or other performers to be the stars of the episodes. As I said, it's been running for about 10 years, 9 series. Each episode is about 30 minutes long. There's been a couple of specials as well. I haven't know. And as I said, every episode's slightly different, but all themed around something to do with number 9, whether that's a house, whether that's a room, whether it's a karaoke room, or whatever that may be. There's always a reference to number 9 somewhere in there. Now, as I said, the whole purpose about this is to take a look back over the last 9 series, to delve...
So strap in. Brace yourself, Rodney.
Yeah, if you've never seen it, they're all available on BBC iPlayer now. You'd be in for a treat.
And don't listen to this or watch any
there
further.
will be spoilers.
Well, don't tell the people not to listen and not to watch.
Yeah. No,
Well, I have to. I mean,
pause it as we announce an episode. Pause it, go and watch it, then come back and join me.
yeah.
Or listen to what we're saying and then go off and watch them.
No,
because
don't do
obviously
that,
we're not
'cause-
going to do it justice.
no, because we'll end up giving the reveal whether we wanted to or not, and
Yeah.
then it will ruin it for you.
Okay, so back in 2014,
Yeah.
um,
Dun, dun, dun.
Series 1 hit the BBC TV screens, and we started off with Sardines.
Oh yes.
So, again,
I
Brett's already pulled out the paper. So this was our first introductory meeting of what Inside Number 9 was all about. And to be fair, I got into number 9 quite late. So I heard you two raving on about it for a while.
For 9 years.
I delved into it
9 years, Paul.
every now and again.
9 years.
But the nice thing about that is I got to watch all of them
Yeah.
afresh.
That's true. Yeah.
I didn't have to wait for
I
the
do
next
envy
series to
that.
come out.
But I remember because I'd been a bit of a fan of the League of Gentlemen. I'd been a bit of I really, really liked Psychoville. I preferred that to the League of Gentlemen all in all. And so when they said,
Psychoville's more rounded and more, I don't want to say mature, but it's as if they were cutting their teeth with the League of Gentlemen,
Yeah.
and then Psychoville was their next level. If you see what, yeah.
And then, so I was very excited about this, and I was like, got ready. I may have even, I don't know, I wouldn't have had the video ready to record at that point. It may have still recorded.
I think it was
on
probably Sky Plus in that.
Sky Plus in those days, or whatever it was. But and I remember watching it, and I remember liking it, but not being that impressed with the first episode. Because it was like, oh, that's cool, but kind of, because Psychoville had kind of gone a lot of places that you wouldn't expect something to go in a TV show, and crossed a lot of boundaries. And this was kind of for lack of a better term, it was a sort of almost a sort of Agatha Christie murder mystery round the table. Who are all the guests type thing, or in this case, they were all locked in a cupboard.
Yeah, they guess at a
Yeah, so
not a wedding.
Birthday
It's not a
party.
wedding. It's
birthday party, so in the end,
an engagement party or something, isn't it?
It was good, but I was like, oh, okay. But that was then I realised it was going to be like a different thing every week. So you kind of, and I liked it, but I was a bit like, oh, that was okay. It was, yeah, I liked, but it wasn't. I didn't get the.
See,
oomph.
for me, that first episode stands out for that reason. I didn't see it coming because I didn't know. That's the sorry, Paul, but that's the first step because it was the first episode.
Yeah.
You don't.
You don't
Every other
know-
episode
yeah.
after, you're looking for or you're waiting for
Something.
the flip. But with that one, because it was the first, you didn't know there was going to be a flip,
Yeah.
and what the. That's why I think it does. That's what stands out. So it may not be
yeah.
one of the best or the
Oh
greatest.
no,
of
I
the
appreciate
series.
it now, but at the
Yeah.
time, I've coming in for the Psychoville was a lot more like in your face with everything, and this was kind of a sort of maybe it was too tame for me after all the other stuff. And it was clever. I liked it, as I say, but I wasn't like blown away. Like, oh wow, you got to watch this show.
But then it does go to a dark
But
place.
it does say, yeah,
Yeah.
Just
And-
not in a, not it doesn't. There's no details. You
Yeah.
don't see it. But it's all about okay. Now
yeah, that was when I had to sort of change my mindset. What did you think, Paul? After you'd heard us talk about it for ages, and you've gone and watched this now.
So we'll come back to talk about the great points of the two writers and actors anyway, because they're
Well,
the
they're all over
standout
this, aren't they?
performances throughout the 9 series, I think, is phenomenal. The different range, and yes, okay, a lot of them are the similarities, yeah, but they'd never play the same character over and over again. I think, that for its own reason makes them shine as two future BBC Gold,
Hall of Famers.
Hall of Famers, yeah. I really liked it because, coming back to our point about Stephen King, where he's got 40 books or, to go nowhere, they got 30 minutes. Sardines had loads of different characters. Each.
To be fair, if you want to be really precise, it's like 28 minutes. But that 2 minutes in television makes a huge amount of difference. So,
Yeah.
They got a finite amount of time to.
It's got loads of characters in it, each of which they managed to sum up
Yeah, they
with a
fleshed the characters
backstory
out with a backstory almost
within next to no
yeah.
time. There's also the underlying plot that they managed to weave in, which seems all wholesome and all this kind of stuff. We know there's some stuff going on. And then they managed to, at the very end, deliver a twist that no one could see coming. And yes, is it one of the best ever? Probably not. Is it a great start to building up what... Yeah, and they probably didn't know at the time we're going to be 9 series, but it gave the viewers a gist of this is what we're about and this is what you're going to get. So, yeah, I think it was a great start to the series. And again, I think one of the things I did like about it is it sets the scene, but it's not all coming out guns blazing. It's kind of a quiet, mellow build-up to a good shocking end. I'll just run through some of the other episodes and then we can delve into the
makes
ones
sense.
that stand out.
Yeah.
So, as I said, Series 1 started with Sardines that we're just giving a quick run out. Then we had A Quiet Night In, Tom and Jerry, Last Gasp, The Understudy, and The Harrowing. And at this point, I was going to say, okay, we're only going to talk about the next, the highlights, but I really liked A Quiet Night In.
Yeah.
It's one of my
100%.
standouts.
This is what gripped me. I knew that I was in good hands.
Just to run through the synopsis. So, A Quiet Night In features a couple of hapless cat burglars that are trying to steal basically a painting.
From Wedge Antilles.
And
He hates that.
obviously, where this is an inside number 9, things don't go as they should for the hapless cat burglars. And the really nice thing about this is, as the title would say, it's a quiet night in, not just for the two people living in the property that are going through their time, but also the cat burglars are having to be quiet whilst trying to steal this painting. So there's not a lot of dialogue in this. It's more of a...
it's virtually silent.
Silent
Yeah.
movie, Buster Keaton chat.
Yeah.
The bit though, I love that, and then the bit I realised at the end is that the girlfriend in it is played by Una Chaplin, granddaughter of Charlie Chaplin. So it
Really?
was just like,
Yeah.
who she ended up in Game of Thrones later on, but this was kind of, so you even had that stunt casting of, well, it's going to be like Charlie Chaplin. What's the closest we can get to Charlie
Yeah.
Chaplin? And they put his around it. When that was it. And I was like, yeah, they are genius. I'm on
Yeah.
board for this show now. And yeah,
Yeah, I think the choreography in that is almost at that Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin level. I mean, that's going,
Yeah.
But
And again,
I think they are.
Nice
They
thing,
get it.
if you were watching the series for the first time ever and you hadn't seen the another episode of number 9, you're then thinking, oh, this is completely different to last week.
yeah.
Like
This was always the episode. If someone has said, what's it about? This is always the episode I recommend that they go and watch first, because it's not too scary. It's not too horror. It's not too...
Yeah, maybe I think that's why what I said earlier. It annoys
yeah,
me when they say it whenever it's written about. It's like horror comedy or whatever.
So
there's no. It's not. This isn't horror.
No.
This is pure.
yeah. So
comedy.
if you're listening to this and you've never seen it, go and watch that episode, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, because it's genius.
No, it is. It is. And again, it gives them another way of comedy, more of the expressional comedy, or
another way to show it. Yeah, no, definitely. Another string to their bow. They can do that as well.
Okay, so any other standouts that oh, cool, you've got the series list up in front of you. So from series 1, any other standouts? We don't want to go through all of them.
No, we're not going to
ruin
go through it. I
everything.
mean, Tom and Jerry was a great plot twist in it. I think that just the way that plays out is really good.
Oh, yeah, I've just realised what one that was.
Yeah.
And had Gemma Arterton in it as well.
Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that one was really clever. That's if you say to people, what I don't with number 9, I don't get the concept. So you watch that one because that one is the way it flips and turns.
Everything. Yeah.
Is just that's how clever they are with their, because that one you don't see coming.
Nope.
Even when you're looking for it, which you are by this point if you've watched it from the start.
I was going to say, I'm not going to go through every episode, but I actually liked Last Gasp just because it was it was just completely different again. So Last Gasp, there's basically a famous celeb that comes to a birthday party.
It's like a Make-A-Wish thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Doesn't really want to be there. But he's like the biggest celeb in the world, and he dies just after he's blown up a balloon. And they realise that actually his breath is potentially worth a fortune on eBay or if they sell it. So again, another completely different twist. And this is where you're thinking, where the hell do they come up with their ideas for this? And it may be, from their experiences of, oh my God, I'm sick of blowing up balloons for the kid's birthday party now. I wish someone else could do it. But again, just another great plot, completely different. And yeah, I won't ruin the ending. Any other shout outs from series 1?
No, I mean they're all very different and have their place. But yeah, the ones I think we've said all the ones that stick in my mind the most.
But I think series 1 sets the stall out for everything that comes after it, because there's almost a bit of everything in each in that is it 6? Yeah, 6 episodes, isn't it? There's a bit of everything in those 6 episodes, so it shows the range that they can do in 6 episodes.
Yeah, and it is a range as well. It's not just the run-of-the-mill shizzle that you'd think would be in this. Like you say, the whole thing on a balloon.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. Okay, so they didn't make us wait too long. So in 2015, Series 2 came along, and we had Le Couchette, The 12 Days of Christine, The Trial of Elizabeth Gadge, Cold Comfort, Nana's Party, and Seance Time.
again, all completely different sounding type shows.
Yeah. So I did like Le Couchette. It's basically set on a sleeper train carriage. I think was it in France or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I'd say so by the title.
And again, the one thing I liked about this, and they're very good at doing this, is making characters come to life. They go through just random stuff. You've got a couple who've just been to their daughter's wedding or on their way to their daughter's wedding. Can't remember which.
Yeah, one or the other.
And they're stuck in this carriage car. They're trying to make the best of it. You got the backpacker who's managed to pick up Jack Whitehall, and they're going for it. You've got this old man sleeping on, what they make out to be this almost trampy, farty character that doesn't do much for most of the episode until maybe the end.
Yeah.
And then you've got the posh guy trying to get to sleep because he's got a very important meeting in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's just that interaction of these characters all stuck together in the carriage that none of them really want to be on. But again, loads of great performances, even from Jack Whitehall, who does Jack Whitehall to a T, but completely
This was
picked.
still early Jack Whitehall,
Yeah, that's
wasn't it?
true.
Yeah.
But again, perfect character for the perfect place as well.
No, definitely. It was a
Then you
good
get
little episode.
fan favourite 12 Days of Christine.
Yeah, one of my favourite
It
episodes.
is one of. I said fan, but the reason I said that is because it's just the one. It's one of the ones we know it. Everyone knows it. You don't even need really to talk about it. And I think, to be fair, talking about it would give too much away if you haven't
yeah.
watched it.
The only thing I would add is Sheridan Smith. I didn't, from a latest work and the singing stuff, whatever. She is brilliant in this episode.
Yeah.
And the way that they span that period of time into such a short episode. I'm trying not to give too much away. Yeah. Again, brilliant one. Go off and watch that. 12 Days of Christine if you haven't seen it already. And we haven't ruined it for you. No spoiler.
No, we haven't, but it's very, very good. The next one, the Elizabeth Gadge one, is probably...
See, I don't remember much about. Is that the witch?
Witchfinders.
Yeah,
One,
but
yeah.
This is the one. This is probably my bottom episode of all of them.
I didn't think it was that bad.
No, but I mean, but I want to clarify, when we say that it's the bottom episode, it's number 9, that's still a lot
It's like
higher than
a
the
mediocre
bottom episode.
a mediocre episode of Inside Number 9 is better than
Most
an
other
average
things.
episode of the X-Files or something like that.
You know what I mean? So when we say it's bad,
I don't know where the X-Files
it's
came
still
from,
that because the episodes are of that higher standard, and it's. When we said, like, if I said I thought it was one of the worst ones, it still means it's amazing compared to a lot of other things. So please bear that in mind, especially if you're listening, Pemberton and Shearsmith. Because it literally started, and I was like, I can see where this is going and what it done and what happened, and I was just like. And that wasn't me being... I didn't think it was me being clever and seeing what was going to happen. It was just that kind of... I don't know.
I can't remember it, to be perfectly honest.
But give it a watch, see what you think. Because, again, this is the beauty of the series, is each episode does something completely different, and what someone doesn't like in one thing, someone else will love. So that's why it's such an awesome show. Back to you, Paul.
I said we weren't going to talk about all of them. So, yeah, I mean, Cold Comfort.
Cold Comfort, yeah.
I think is, again...
It's a standout for the way it's filmed and the way it's I mean, the twist is good as well, but I think from a twist aside, I think the way it's shot and just the idea that he's in booth or cubicle number 9.
Yeah.
Would you even think of that?
Exactly. So Cold Comfort is basically someone starts a job at crisis support line and basically has to try and talk a suicidal teenager out of doing...
Suicide.
Yeah. I was trying to not give it away, but I've just said it. Committing suicide. That's all we'll go into it. But yeah, again, all the twists and turns that you don't necessarily see. And Nana's party, again, was... I think that was the one that was actually the what the BBC were trying to get them to do a pilot episode, and they liked Nana's Party so much, I think, that they wanted it just to be about that.
Yeah.
And a series all about the family and the goings on of the characters in Nana's Party.
So kind of traditional sitcom sort of thing.
Yeah, which they were said no to. But again, just the interplay of different family members, and again, making comedy out of something quite dark in that one. Yeah, great one.
And just excellent characters again,
Yeah.
like you say, from even going back to the first episode, every character is sort of fleshed out in some way in the 28 minutes they have to do it or whatever it is.
Yeah, and the fact so it opens with a paramedic, and then you got the trick that he's going to play with the cake. You're expecting that trick to go wrong.
Yeah, and the way
and they keep leading to it, but it never
goes
does.
back and forth, doesn't it? Yeah, I remember now.
And the thing is, we all know that one person just like that, who would try and do a trick like that. Probably be or you, that would just try and be funny, and it's not going right. So almost trying to throw his toys out the pram, but he's sticking with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we move on to Series 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Series 3, again, 2016 to 2017. We had The Devil of Christmas, The Bill, The Riddle of the Sphinx, Empty Orchestra, Diddle Diddle Dumpling, and Private View. Oh, so, as I said, we did want to talk about all of them. But again, Devil of Christmas.
That is one of my favourites, I have to say.
So with Devil of Christmas, it almost gives the listener the impression that the director of this program, set in 1970 or filmed in 1977, is doing almost a voiceover.
Yes, director's commentary is what you're thinking you're watching.
Yeah.
And it's just, well, it's a daft thing to say, but it's so clever the way they do it. So we know nothing about this
It's
until
very
about
hammery kind of thing, isn't it?
4 minutes into the actual film of The Devil of Christmas, where it's so well set in 1977. The camera effects make it look dated.
The set shakes.
Yeah, the acting is deliberately
wooden.
Yeah, or overdone. And then in comes the director's commentary and say, "Oh, okay. Now, did you notice?" And the interplay about how he then comments on, "Oh, he fucked that up," or "She was way well past her prime," or it even starts, I think, with, now, notice the inconsistency between this. Look at that picture there. We had to move that around, and even getting the little kid to obviously follow someone around so they could work that in. I thought that was really clever, and it managed a completely different spin for the first episode of another series.
I think
people going.
Sorry, but it's the clever thing that you're actually invested in the storyline playing out on the film, just as much as you're invested in the commentary that the guy's given, and yet you got no idea where it's going. I think it's just because you get fully immersed into you're listening to a director's commentary about a film, and
the film at the same time.
And that's all you're watching, and it's just.
But it occupies both levels of your brain, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think and then it doesn't.
Yeah,
Then it doesn't.
it's all about Krampus in there as well. So it is a complete Christmas feel. And
it was the Christmas special, and that one came. Normally they started in February. This one was.
It's just after Christmas.
The 27th of December.
There we go.
And he had Derek Jacobi playing the doing the audio commentary as the director as well. So yeah, and a great twist at the end. Oh, and then we went on to The Bill, which is one of my favourites. I think The Bill is brilliant. So quick synopsis: The Bill is basically you've got 3 friends, old friends, and one newbie friend of one of them. Finish their meal, and they basically have a big argument about who's going to pay the bill. And they spin this so well. You've got the one guy that doesn't really, it doesn't really have much money and has already come there, worked out what he's going to spend.
Yeah,
It gets his
little
money
purse.
out. And then you've got two of them, the friends. I can't remember. Was it a golf club? No, badminton club or something like that.
I forget. No, I think you're right. It's badminton, I think.
Yeah. One of them actually became the head of the badminton club. The other one's a bit knocked off. So there's almost this, I should be paying for this, blah, 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 because I'm the head of the badminton club. The other one goes, no, you got it last time. Even the clever thing, oh, so you want to get this because we're going out for another meal in 6 months' time. And again, it's like, I mean, we've never had any of those arguments, but you could tell how some people are like that. I won't give it away. But even when
it helps with it being Philip Glenister as well.
Yeah.
At this point, he was still. Well, he still always will be Gene Hunt.
Yeah,
but
it was still right. It was still
fresh
in the memory.
Yeah.
If you like.
and
Even
he plays the rich friend from London who's doing very well.
The southerner.
And has come up north. It's got oodles of money back at the hotel room, apparently, in a safe. Great episode, really clever. And again, completely contrasting to the one before. What sounds like it shouldn't be an interesting episode, 3 people arguing about a bill.
Yeah, but it's just the way it escalates. And then at the end of the escalation, because you think that's the think that is the
You think the end
that's
is
the
end.
shock. You think that's the twist, but it's not. The twist is
Still to
comes
come.
after that.
Yeah.
And it all rounds off in those 3-4 minutes. It's just clever writing.
Okay. So, do we want to talk about the riddle of the Sphinx as well, which is really good?
Teaches you how to do cryptic crosswords.
I think we should,
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think the probably without talking. Let's not. I don't think we need to talk about the episode per se, but the fact that is it Reece?
Yeah.
One of them actually did crosswords for the Guardian in the run up to that episode.
Oh,
Do they really?
Steve
Yeah,
Pemberton's,
Steve Pemberton. I don't know which one it was. I forget.
Professor Nigel Squires.
Yeah, actually wrote. So that's how deep they go with some of this stuff.
Yeah. And again, as Brett said, it helps. Because I used to hate cryptic crosswords. So it's like, oh, that's what it's about now.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're teaching you
Yeah,
as well.
he tells you the formula that you think about.
Not
crosswords.
only is it a funny horror, black comedy, whatever, but it's also educational. Kids.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't really get on with Diddle Diddle Dumpling.
What?
Yeah, I didn't really like that.
I like that one. That was really
that's-
cool.
we
You missed Empty Orchestra as well.
Okay.
The karaoke one. Diddle Diddle Dumpling was really messed up.
Yeah.
That was one.
That's the shoe
The
one.
shoe
isn't it?
one, isn't it? Where he's like,
Becomes obsessed with.
Yeah.
It just didn't do it for me.
Well, that leads. That's fair enough. But that leads to again what you think's going on to what is going on type thing. But again, watch it. The less you know about it, the better. Really, with that one. Empty Orchestra before it was good as well. Just a big karaoke night with a twist.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, that was all right. There lots of singing in that. But that's what it's about. It's about being set in a karaoke booth. It wasn't much of a twist, though. Let's be honest.
It's more a soapy episode.
Yeah,
that one,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
and that had not Denise Van Outen. It was the other one, wasn't it? Tamsin Outhwaite.
Red Cap.
Tamsin
Tough,
Outhwaite.
uncompromising Tamsin Outhwaite.
Yeah. And I finished on Private View.
Private View, I liked mainly. Well, they had quite a lot of people actually, but they had Montserrat Lombard.
Is that the organ donor one?
That's
Yeah.
it's the one where she's the artist. And
Yeah, the organ
actor,
donor.
but she-
Yeah. I think that is good, but I think that's a story I've heard so many times in different, like, not MIJ. In fact, it's a Man in a Black episode on the radio. Well, it's probably not on Sounds now.
on
but
wireless.
on Took Wireless, that does a very similar kind of twist at the end.
But I just have to have Montserrat Lambert in it because she was brilliant in Life on Mars, and she's not really been in much.
She does theatre. She's a theatre. She's
She
a
was
theatre
in-
actress.
she's in
You know,
Beyond-
those
Yeah.
were they theatre actress.
Well, yeah, and she's in Beyond Paradise. She's in the first episode of
Yeah.
that, I think, or one of the first.
That's right. Yeah, she was.
But yeah, go.
I just like the way they projected his face on the actual stone art. I thought, I think there's a lot of
creepy.
artwork similar to that.
Yeah, creepy visuals.
Yeah, but that was cool. Okay, moving on to Series 4, 2018. We had Zanzibar, Bernie Clifton's dressing room, Once Removed, To Have and to Hold, and the winner is And Tempting Fate.
Zanzibar I liked for its Shakespeareanness and its
Yeah,
but I admit that's for a certain audience that are going to
Yes,
get
but it's
that.
clever, but that whole thing annoyed me.
But
I'm
basically
just not
that was-
highbrow enough for
If
that.
you like Shakespeare, that would be if Shakespeare was around today. I
Yeah.
think that's what they were going for, and the whole farce of it all, because Shakespeare had a lot of farce. But Bradley Clifton's dressing room, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, that tugs at your heartstrings. That's a very good episode.
Yeah, one of my favourites.
Because you can kind of imagine the entertainers of old, your Tommy Cannons, Bobby
Yeah.
Balls, and Little and Large, all kind of having that situation, if you like. Just pausing for a drink.
Not sure whether anyone else was going to carry on about another one that stood out.
I can't remember. Once Removed.
It's got removal man Spike, Nick Moran, arrives to help Natasha Amelia Fox move house, leading him to a bizarre circumstance which unfolds through reverse chronology. I can't think of that myself.
Oh, is it the one that it starts with a gunshot outside the house with a for sale sign, I think?
Yes. Yeah. It does.
I think that might be one I've only ever watched once.
Yeah, to be honest, that one doesn't stand out for me. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just I don't remember it. Okay, anyone else stand out for that?
No, I mean, I think it's To Have and to Hold, you got to mention just for its pure darkness and sinister twist, if you like. And especially, I mean, the ending is good. The comeuppance, if you like, at the end, I did like.
The winner was again, that was another one.
Yeah, that's the
that
kind
was,
of.
yeah.
Is that where they will get together in a room? One
Yeah.
of them's a
Working out who's going to
writer.
win the Oscars
okay.
type thing.
Yeah, I think that's their nod to what they kind of think of the industry, if you like.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was all right, but it was, and again, it wasn't. That's probably on the next one on my list next to
Yeah.
thing I said. But again, just because I think they're bad doesn't mean that they're bad in compared to other shows. We're judging them against themselves here.
Yeah, exactly. And Tempting Fate, I enjoyed that one. That's a good going back to their sort of horror roots, if you like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, we had the Halloween special,
God, was that 2018?
2018.
Yeah. And the thing is, as well, what's on this as well was a whole massive build-up where they would do, because it was going to be, it was live, wasn't
live
it?
episode.
It's
Yeah.
going to be a live episode, and they were on the one show talking about the thing of how it's going to be live and
How difficult it's
the
going
plot
to be and how
difficult,
hard
and
it is
they
to do.
did
and plan.
everything like behind this, and I remember watching it on the one show, and in the back of my mind, they were like, they're a bit too chirpy. Because they're not, I've seen them do interviews, and this is like, and I thought, nah, it's because they're on the one show,
Yes.
And I knew I was right. But, yeah, put it this way, it unfolds in a way that was not planned. And again, I think, and this, I will say, if you can remember Ghostwatch,
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was thinking of. Yeah,
you may get a lot more out of Deadline than people that haven't watched Ghostwatch.
and also cool, or would have been cool if I'd have watched it at Halloween. That it's set in Halloween.
Yeah.
Because there's not many. Well, there doesn't seem to be an emphasis from TV
No, not anymore.
And also,
stations
it
to
was
put on Halloween stuff.
there was the freaky, because what was happening in there, they were doing live on social media at the same time.
Right.
So when he put something on Twitter, it appeared on Twitter in real time.
Yeah.
And all that.
And they
So
did that
people
shot
were like,
when they're in their
the
dressing room
yeah,
and
and all that
the
stuff,
news
yeah.
on, and
and it all
I mean,
kind
it's so cleverly done.
on a lot of levels for that one.
Yeah.
Cool.
And they got everyone.
Okay, so Series 5 in 2020. God, dear. We had The Referees are Deaf Be Not Proud, Love's Great Adventure, Misdirection, Thinking Out Loud, and The Stakeout.
So for me, I mean, that last episode, Stakeout, stands out again just because it goes back to their horror roots, and just you rewatch it, and there's so many little markers and pointers to what's going to happen at the end. You know, he's got the cold curry, and the guy can't stand the smell of it because all he can smell in it is the garlic. It's just cleverly written again.
Again, that was on my list of the bad uns, but the more I do watch that one, it goes up. Because it was only because I thought straight away, and I was right, but how they did it was really, really, really clever.
Yeah.
Even the title.
I like
You know, if you look at the title of the episode alone and stuff, it's
yeah.
So it is well done.
I like Death Not Be Proud, or Be Not Proud rather, not just because it had Jenna Coleman in it, but it was another almost similar to the 12 Days of Christine vibe to it.
Well, I love it because this was a follow up of Psychoville.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
As well, because the David Sauerbutt's spoiler, like the character who's in it is you follow his adventures through Psychoville, and you're in it kind of, and you don't know what happened to it at the end. So now you do.
And it also had Jenna Coleman in it as well.
Well, that's what's bonus. Yeah, so like that was because I think initially at this point when they started doing like old movie posters of it, and I think the initial one of that, I think it was his silhouette, or they then added his silhouette afterwards. So it's like because it was like the big Psychoville reveal, whatever you want to call it. He returned. So yeah, it could be your next thing, Paul. Go watch Psychoville now. You'll like it, but it's just a bit more
it's
extreme.
like that Inside Number 9 thing you guys kept going on about.
We'll get you on the League of Gentlemen one day.
No. Oh, actually, which one's that? No, I'm sure that's the one that
I like the referees because more in the fact of it was Ralph Little, wasn't it? David Morrissey and them. But it was just more the fact it was. I like the almost stage show aspect of it, where it's just like 3 or 4 people in one room, and there it's just what unfolds in that room, you know. And I like that, but predictable maybe. But even if you didn't know what was going to happen in this show, But the way it was done was good. What ones do I like? Oh, Misdirection was very clever. Oh no, I've got on. No, I haven't.
No, you haven't. You're still on the same series. Don't worry.
Yeah, Misdirection. I did
with
the
magicians.
magicians.
He tries to steal his magic trick. Yeah, actually, that was quite good.
And that was the ones that I would say stood out for me. But they're all good.
Okay, Series 6, 2021. We had Wuthering Heist, Simon Says, Lip Service, Hurry Up and Wait, How Do You Plead, and Last Night at the Proms.
See, for me, Last Night at the Proms is the bottom episode of all, I think. Just a bit.
Yeah.
It's a bit nothing. But again, by their standards, I could keep caveating it with that statement. Wuthering Heist, again, that goes to your...
That's in with your Shakespeare episode again.
Exactly.
I liked it, but if you didn't know what it was, then you didn't really get it.
I love the Simon Says just purely for the fact that the poking fun at fandom and the just the way it exposes that.
Oh yeah,
that whole say genre, it's not the right word, but that whole thing that exists around these big TV shows and franchises, etc.
Lip Service, I think, might have been my favourite because it's just balmy. It just totally goes.
Yeah. That's
You're
the
like,
one
what?
with the yeah.
Because he thinks his wife's having an affair. Yeah. And Hurry Up and Wait was a bit weird.
It's a bit weird, and you kind of suspect you're seeing that one that's almost signposted. Maybe that's the point.
With a good old Adrian Dunbar in it.
Mm-hmm. I actually don't remember last night at the proms. I think
I think
I
literally
blocked it out.
It's just not. It's good. Again, it sounds so
this
bad.
Is we're judging it against their standard.
Yeah.
So it's not against other programs. It's still. Oh, well, tell me the ending off air. I'm just trying to remember that one. It's the only one I can't, unless I just didn't see it, but I know I did.
Yeah, you must have done. Okay, let's go on to Series 7 then. 2022 now. So we start off with Merrily Merrily, Mr. King, 9 Lives Cat, Kidnap, A Random Act of Kindness, and Wise Owl.
Merrily Merrily, I thought was very. This was in your wheelhouse, Mr. Hicks. This was your ghost story for Christmas type.
Yeah.
thing.
Is that the one with the pedalo?
Yep.
Yeah, and again,
Diane Morgan's brilliant in it.
it was good having the three of them back together. I'm a massive Diane Morgan fan in most things she's been in, so that was always a bonus. And playing the slacker guy, his girlfriend or whatever, was pretty cool. And don't worry, I worked out which one I was.
Yeah, it was okay. Again, you kind of knew what the ending was as it was happening when he's been rowed. But yeah, again, yeah.
On a boat.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
Mr. King, really liked it because I'm a massive fan of its influence.
Yeah.
And it was very clear, but I think he said in an interview they always want to do something linked to that influence. I'm trying not to spoil it. And they were just going to do it.
Nope, it's a
but
good
how
episode.
they done it was really good. Nine Lives Cat I thought was a bit weird.
Is that the kidnap one? No, it's not. It's just the when where he's an author, isn't it? And he's got the
Yeah, and it goes.
Yeah.
Well, it starts off as like she's looking for the boy, but then
oh yeah, I've
it's
just
a bit
given
fit.
the
Yeah. But
well, I mean to be fair, that's 2 years ago.
yeah. Random Act of Kindness again. That was kind of, I thought, a bit brave for them because they didn't often go sci-fi.
That's a sci-fi one, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
And did it succeed as well as some of the other episodes? No, but at the same time, it still worked really well, and all made sense in the end once you worked out what it was. It was well written, but they didn't often go sci-fi, so I think they were just trying it out. 'Cause I think by this point, they knew that maybe they had a couple of series left, and it was like, right, what else haven't we done that we want to do? And I think that's what they did. And Wise Owl was just really, really disturbing.
Yeah.
So they lured you in with a nice little sci-fi tale, which would easily be a nice happy episode Doctor Who, and then bang, Wise Owl. And they even got, I remember reading about this at the time, they got the people back that did the animation for the old kids programs in the old days to do that.
Yeah.
And that was
dark.
just
It's very dark.
It's probably the darkest.
Yeah, I mean, it tackles something very similar to the first episode in Sardines, but it goes darker than Sardines did. Because Sardines does more, insinuates.
Sardines is also, it's more farcical, isn't it? Because it's all
but the theme of it,
the theme of it's really
I was
dark.
teaching him how to wash and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but
Whereas this
Wise
one
Owl is just straight in on the dark.
There's no ambiguity. There's no. It's not softly touch. It's, boom. Which makes it all the more better.
And even more weird because if you liked 1970s kids TV, there's a lot in there for you, but it just goes a lot of dark places. But yeah, give it a look. Let us
Cool.
know what you think.
Coming on to Series 8, which is probably when I started watching it. So we had The Bones of St. Nicholas, Mother's Ruin. Oh, I can never say that one.
Good luck with that one.
Paraskedevic Trophobia, whatever.
That'll do.
Love is a Stranger, and 3 by 3, and The Last Weekend.
So Bones of St. Nicholas is a little bit light,
Yeah.
but it's got a nice little...
It was
twist at the
going
end.
for that sort of Christmas ghost
Yeah,
story. Again,
definitely,
isn't it?
100%.
But it was,
That's-
'cause they've started at Christmas now.
Yeah.
It's moved forward 2 months. It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it has all the look and feel of it, and again, it's all really well done. It's just a bit... It's lighter on the darkness than you expect when they do a ghost story for Christmas style thing. But again, caveat.
Mother's Room was just cool because it had Phil Daniels and Anita Dobson in it. And
This was the start of the Anita Dobson revival.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
yeah,
They Travolted Dobson.
Yeah.
but that
And,
was quite cool.
And I like the fact that Phil Daniels got to play some sort of East End white boy.
Yeah.
It's something a bit
Showing his
different
range.
for him.
Yeah.
Even in not Death in Paradise, in Beyond Paradise, he's an East End white
White
boy,
boy who happens
despite
to be a
living
fisherman.
in Devon, fisherman in Devon all his life. God bless him.
Powers, Catriophobia.
I thought it was all right.
I can't think of that one. at
That's the
moment.
one where
That's the one with
he's
I say the
Friday
umbrella,
the
but-
13th, and he's just got a phobia about it.
Yeah, so he doesn't want to leave the house, but so
Yeah.
he keeps getting disturbed. Stuff
Doesn't
keeps
go to
happening.
work, so he calls in sick, doesn't
Yeah, I remember all that. I'm trying to remember.
Well, the ending is she leaves the house, I think.
Yes, yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that. Yep. Because she's had enough of it, hasn't she? And it drives her out, and then
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Love is a Stranger. That was a good one. That was a bit different. That was the dating one.
Yep. That was a nice.
Oh,
I mean,
that-
again, it's nice. Kind of. You can't say two-hander because she talks to more people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it almost is a two-hander. It's just her talking on a screen. It's just brilliantly done.
Kind of takes you back to the old COVID days
Yeah.
where you could meet people face to face.
And the 3x3 one was genius because it was advertised as Hold On Tight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was
So,
advertised as a...
and on the buses.
And on the buses type sort of spoof with Robin
Asquith.
Asquith. That's it.
Yeah.
The star of the old Confessions of a Window Cleaner in the 70s. So it looked like that's what was going.
They
and-
even did posters for it. They did mock-up TV, like stills, as in from the actual episode itself.
Oh, we got to see a bit of that later, didn't
Yeah.
we? But which we'll get to in a bit. But then basically, it turns out that episode can't be shown tonight, and instead they're going to launch a new quiz show,
Pilot episode for a new quiz show.
hosted by Lee Mack called 3x3, which slowly you begin to realise that maybe there's something a bit strange about the quiz. But a lot of people at the time were moaning about the quiz, and there were a lot of complaints about the ending because people thought they were watching. They just turned over and started watching the quiz show and didn't realise
They were
what
watching
was
Inside
going
Number
on.
9.
Yeah, so it got people.
Yeah, it's a shame because I didn't watch that on a linear broadcast. I watched it on iPlayer, so it was already.
Yeah,
And
I think they even iPlayer initially forgot to put tonight's episode's been cancelled.
That's
it
probably
just
why, because I
started.
watched on the same night. And literally, it was like a
it
couple
started
of
with
like
the
an hour or so
3x3
later.
bit, so you missed the what do you call it, like the link or
Yeah.
the announcement.
Yeah.
It just-
I
Continuity.
actually remember talking about this at the time.
We've reached the time period of when the podcast was going.
Are we existing in our own timeline?
Okay,
Last weekend, yeah, it was all right.
and then we move on to the final series this year. Boo to a Goose, The Trolley Problem, Mulberry Close, Control Alt Escape, excuse me, The Curse of the Ninth, and Plodding On.
So I liked Boo to a Goose, but online it got a lot of flack for its far-fetchedness.
Yeah, but again, it was a bit sci-fi. It was a bit Big Brother-y kind of thing. Again, trying something. Maybe people don't like them doing that. Maybe or whatever. But I'm always happy when they're doing something that they don't normally do, because I think that's what they trying to push themselves as writers and performers. And yeah, it was good. I liked the sort of henpecked husband who kind of then sort of grows a set and becomes like a dictator. I liked Reece. No, wait there. Which one's
Steve
Pemberton? I think is one of the greatest actors this country ever had. He can play anything and be convincing.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
That's the guy from Benidorm.
Yeah, he's a bit like Matt Lucas in some ways, but let me finish before you feel offended.
Jesus Christ.
No, but like back in the Little Britain days, Matt Lucas looked like whoever he dressed up as, whereas David Williams just looked like someone dressed up.
Don't say that name on this podcast.
Yeah, but he always looked like someone who was just dressed up as someone, whereas Matt Lucas kind of disappeared into the character.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Steve Pemberton does that. Like you say, that's the guy who done that. And across by now, 9 seasons of this, 9 series of this.
So if you did everyone ever watch Whitechapel?
I know. I think I watched a couple, but he played like a.
He's like a. Well, he was introduced into the series as a Jack the Ripper expert, right? Yeah, like autobiography.
Yeah.
Not autobiography. He can't do that because he don't know who he is. But he was the foremost expert in
the historian,
history of Jack the Ripper and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just completely believable as that kind of author and historian.
Steve Pemberton,
and then 2 weeks later you see him in Benidorm, with like for want of a better word, the chav dad. It's like,
how
are you not the biggest? Why aren't you up there?
He could play the shark in Jaws, and I would believe it.
Yeah,
he's like, and Shearsmith's good, but Shearsmith's more. I like his money.
He's more underplayed and
underplayed, more sinister.
He can do the really good sneering underbelly. That's not the right. That's someone who's just below. Yeah, the bubbling underneath.
I'd like to see him remake Falling Down, Michael Douglas.
Yeah,
I think he'd do it a lot better. But that kind of character, but just to sort of see him as a sort of camp. Was he a drag act? I'm trying to remember now.
Yeah,
and in Booter Geese, wasn't he? It was like,
a completely unfiltered drag artist, basically. So I say what I like, and I like what I say.
Bloody well say, yeah.
Then you get the trolley problem. Was a nice. That is obviously a two-hander. Just those two. It's just a good story. It's just a good.
But again, that's play. Another one of your Man in Black kind of things, isn't it? Just sort of. Mulberry Close, I think, was so simple yet so effective.
Well, there was another one where they're just trying to do something different.
But it works so well.
Yeah,
and you keep seeing. Is it Vinette Robinson? Is that her name now? The girl that played the wife. But I always remember her as she was the princess. Remember when Harry Enfield did the Playboys?
No.
And they were all like dressed like Jason King and all that, and it was like one sketch. And then when she was Princess Flora, he goes, "Oh, I like that. Easy to spread and half the calories." That was her there, but that was probably her first ever acting job. And every time I see her, I just remember her from that. But yeah, really good episode. And again, went down a Mulberry Close alleyway that you weren't expecting. But
Controller Escape again. It is based on the old Trapped in a Room or whatever. Escape rooms, yeah. And all about the twist, really. But again, it's nice the connections between having a daughter that doesn't really want to be it. She's too cool for school. Why is she doing this? She's only doing it because it's her dad's birthday. The other daughter, whatever. She's just scared of everything. But it's not just about trying to solve the escape room. It's just, to me, it's really the twist at the end, which...
well, it's clever because the conversations that the children are having, you think, like you just said, oh, it's the daughter doesn't want to be there. Why are you doing this? Why are you going to do this? Sounds like why are you going to leave Daddy? Why I've told you that we're doing this one last time. They're going to have a conversation, but that's not what the conversation is. What's happening by his bedside. That's It's been on air. It's been out for a couple of weeks now.
See, this to me, I can't say it without saying the other one.
I'll go for it.
It doesn't matter. We've done the bell.
Super spoiler bell. This to me links back to the 12 Days episode. I try not to say it in full because people might not really get it. But it was almost that kind of life on Mars.
Yeah, it is exactly that.
Thing,
yeah.
Which they touched on in there, and then they sort of come back to this. And there was almost a bit where I was kind of hoping she might walk past or something. It's not going to happen because, she, I don't know, she's Shearsmith now. Superstar. But, I don't know, some sort of link into it or something. Because I thought, where it's the last one, would they do something like that? And I thought, well, I guess not. But, hey, they got me. But, yeah, and it's that sort of thing again. And I like stuff like that. So
yeah, it's a good little twisty episode because you think the twist is that they're in the escape room.
Yeah. It's
a real killer in the escape room. That's what you think the twist is, but not even close. I mean, the twist isn't anything new, to be fair.
I would almost rather that the second to last two episodes were the other way round.
Yeah, in my head they were, which is why I said
because the Curse of the Ninth would Natalie Dormer.
So the Curse of the Ninth is the last proper episode, isn't it? And then you kind of get the feeling that Plodding On's almost their homage to themselves and almost a way of thanking other people for being in the series. It's still good.
But I think every line of dialogue was from another episode, wasn't it?
Not quite, but it's
more or paraphrased at least.
I mean, they're kind of what they've done is taken a risk because if you're a major fan of the show and therefore their work, they're all to some extent. It feels even though most obviously it's not real, but it's almost giving you an insight into how they are with each other. It's all scripted and it's all made up, but there are points in there that are actually fact, like the when he says about turning up to the office and you always pretend to be a murder victim. That is true.
Oh yeah, I remember reading
so
that.
They've put a lot. So they've almost taken a risk in the fact that they're exposing.
Are they breaking
themselves?
their fourth wall?
They're breaking their own fourth wall by exposing their own relationship. They're not. I don't know how much of it what other bits of it are true or whatever, but and then they also end on the when they say that there's a third option, is that the third within the world of the episode that they're in, their third option is to make the on the buses, or is the third option let's not end the series, let's
we can
still make some more.
I like Catherine Parkinson just dying for some drugs.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And then
and you get
all getting the names
Anne Reid
up.
doing snorting a line. It's like,
and then
what other people? What kind of who could get an established?
Well,
I don't use lovey in its nasty term, but an established. A woman
the only
like
thing
Anne
I
Reid
can put it to is there was an episode.
Doing the line.
I think it was an episode of Extras where Moira Stewart was selling coke in the toilet or something like that, or trying to get someone to buy some coke in the toilet, and that was weird. But it was just and even then when they did the trailer for All Aboard, whatever it's called, on the buses type thing.
Yeah.
They got Catherine Parkinson, the other one's names the other way around on that as well. Just a little.
Yeah, and everyone does that. That's the thing. That is not even if they're just making a joke amongst themselves. I think that's certainly for me, it's a common. If you see Amanda Abington, or I will in my head would have to think about which one of those that is. It's not. anything against them. It's just how my mind works.
Yeah, no, it was.
And obviously, it's got loads of callbacks throughout the episode.
Yeah, I mean, you see them cut. Like
the
they
most
got
obvious is the sardines, but
and they put made sure Thingy appeared on screen. What's her face? Helen, who passed away.
yeah,
Peaky Blinders.
yeah. On the montage,
and all that. She got made sure she
all
was on
the
there.
cocktails are named after episodes. Can't remember them now.
There's a lot of props around it. I spotted a few.
A couple of the
things
posters are knocking about, and obviously then you've got the actors themselves are all in it.
And then we went back to the Curse of the Ninth, which again was a good one.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That's a callback to again your old-fashioned ghost story stuff.
Yeah, it was all right to me. It was kind of Natalie Dormer's always good, but it's just that kind of. I felt they'd done that by now.
Well, they even say that, and that's what.
Yeah, I know.
I think they've done it on purpose.
But I mean, even before,
so they can say in the episode, the final episode, we only did that.
Yeah, did they do that just to say?
Yeah,
yeah. They're clever bastards.
They are,
and that's what they're geniuses.
Cool. So that was our farewell to Inside Number 9,
as far as we know.
Yeah. Well, they might come back for some specials.
And to be fair,
you never know.
To for want of a better term, shoehorn Robin Asquith's arse into an episode, it was always going to put a laugh.
Yeah. So I think it can be said that we've almost got man crushes on Steve Pemberton and Reece Shearsmith. I can't say his name, but they're just so bloody clever. It's sickening.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you just watch films forever and remember it all. So
Well, come on then, pull your finger out, Summers. Start writing the bare bones and we'll fill in the rest.
It's one of those things, though, because, I mean, yeah, we've all thought about writing stuff, but you look at these two people and it almost puts you off even just attempting.
Yeah, they are. It's just... Clever doesn't do it justice, but that's the only word you can think of.
Yeah. So that's it, pilgrims. We're not worthy, as the old saying goes.
Feel free if we've missed. Sorry, Paul, but if we've missed anything,
well, we haven't commented much on your favourite episode, or whatever.
Yeah,
let
stick
us
it
know.
in the comments.
Tell us what it is.
And if you haven't watched Inside Number 9,
sorry.
but hopefully,
on many levels, we feel sorry for you. We've ruined it.
The way that we've expressed our love, maybe not for every episode, but as a 9-series genre of mind-bending, some subtle performances, some standout performances. They're just very, very clever. So if you haven't seen it, go off and watch it. And it's all on the iPlayer. Good old iPlayers. So yeah, that was our farewell to Number 9, episode 120 of the Cult Faction podcast. But, as we said, we're going to go back to having our spotlight on a film.
Woohoo!
So, for next week, Mr. Summers gets to choose what our spotlight is going to be. Only because I haven't gone off and looked to see what any of our listeners or watchers have put in. Sorry, Brett, so this does come to you.
That's right. Because you know what we're going to have to do?
I got a feeling.
I'm going to have to go full circle. Beastmaster.
So just to explain, Beastmaster was the film that we were going to watch before we had our
forced hiatus.
I think that was your pick.
It was my choice, but
oh, was it?
Yeah, that was your choice.
It's
yeah,
fine.
it was.
We can do Ghostmaster, Ghostmaster,
Ghostbusters.
Now then we've gone full circle, just like Inside Number 9.
Yeah, we're that clever.
Okay, so Beastmaster, what was that? 1980?
2, I want to say.
Yeah, what is it?
Sounds about right.
It was on Prime.
It was definitely on Prime free at the time. We said that we're going to do it. But
it's probably 1999 now.
If you're playing along at home, it was on Amazon Prime. It may still be on there for a small fee. But most things on there now are only about £2 or £3 anyway, so it's not too bad.
It's not the end of the world.
Pay for it, and I'm sure that you might be able to find it other places.
Cool. So that's Beastmaster. If you want to play along next week, go off and watch it.
Starring Mark Singer, John Amos,
Rip Torn.
Good old Rip Torn.
and
Other people.
Other people. It's not important, Brett. It's not
Okay,
important.
so
you
now
can
time
keep
to
thinking about it.
To start our shutdown proceedings. As always, don't forget to check us out on all of the different socials. Thank you for watching. Those of you that have
Sorry,
Been
I turned
watching
my
and
back
stuck
on
with
you.
it.
been watching the
I
back
forget
of
that.
Brett's head for most of the episode.
Yeah, it's sexy.
Thanks for you that were listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave comments. Always appreciated. As I said, even if there's something that you want to put or us to put a spotlight on, so some grand film that stands out from the past, something that we maybe haven't mentioned, something that maybe only you can remember, give us that challenge and we'll go off and watch it and we can do a spotlight that on one of our future episodes. We are on YouTube. We are on all the different podcast medias and streaming platforms. Don't forget to check out the mothership, which is
cultfaction.com.
with lots of news and reviews. If Brett's updated it recently, every now and again
sometimes.
there's a competition on there as well. If you want to get in touch, you can email us at
cultfashionpodcast@mail.com.
brilliant.
Hey.
I've been Paul Hawkins, your host, but I've been joined by a great ensemble tonight, which is
Brett Summers.
and
Damien Hicks.
thanks for watching, listening. See you next time.
Superman.